Hi everyone, Miss Diana here again in the garden. This weekend is Memorial Day, and most folks know Memorial Day is when you plant your tomatoes. But why? So tomatoes and all of your summer vegetables really like when overnight temperatures are 50 degrees or more. So Memorial Day is where you definitely should be getting those 50-degree weathers. Our frost-free dates are actually pretty late here in this area. So I'm going to show you how to plant a tomato plant and then talk about a little bit more about spacing in your garden as well. So here I am in my garden plot, and I have a tomato plant that I started back in March. I transplanted it a couple times. It was in I started it in a seed cell starting pack, and then it went into like a 6-pack size, and then I just use red Solo cups because it's what I have on hand. You can use other different plastic containers, anything like that. It's just easy with this. My neighbor likes to use ricotta cheese containers. They're a great size for it. So when you're taking out a plant, tomatoes don't really care too much, but if you're transplanting anything like zucchini or cucumbers or pumpkins, you don't want to disturb the roots. But tomatoes, they don't care. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your fingers to support the base of the plant at the soil. Tip it over, and you're just going to squeeze your container to get it out. So you can see what happened here is that it's a bit root bound. It's been sitting there for a while. Now the best part of tomatoes, they don't care if you disturb the roots. So what you want to do is actually just go in there from the center and just pull and tease it apart. All right, so now it's not root bound anymore. Now you're gonna go into your garden and you're gonna dig a big old hole. Now, I've already gone and added some compost to my garden a while back. I've got some peas that I need to trellis over here. So I'm gonna dig a nice big hole. Now, one of the nutrients that are sometimes lacking in gardens is calcium. Now, you can put fertilizer or anything like that, but usually it's quiche day when I'm planting my garden. So I just take the eggshells, I rinse them out, and then just crumple them into the bottom of my hole, and then I measure where my plant's gonna go. So now tomatoes are great. You could just break off the leaves. So long as you leave the topmost leaves, it'll be just fine. Tomatoes, they'll grow roots right out from the stem. So even if you have a really funky, like maybe one of your tomatoes is like growing off to the side, you can lay it down and have it poking up. All the stem that's in the soil is gonna grow roots. So I'm gonna just tuck my guy in there and just fill it up. And voila, so there's plenty of space. You know, I've got some space, so when I water, it's not going to splash up, because that's what's gonna happen. If any diseases that might come is actually splashed up from the soil. So when you're watering, the best time to do it is in the morning. That way you don't lose a lot of water from evaporation. And when you water, you want to make sure you water low on the ground. You don't want to be spraying the tops of your plants. You want to just be hitting the soil so it doesn't have that splash up and getting any diseases on your leaves. Now to talk a little bit about more spacing, here I have some lettuce. So my garden bed is 4 feet. And so I have 4 different square foot sections here. Now the lettuces ask for 4-inch spacing. So you'll see that I have 3 plants across and 3 down. So I can actually fit 9 plants with 4-inch spacing into a garden square. Now when you get your seed packs or your plants from the garden, you're gonna pull out those tags and you're gonna see what the spacing is. And you're just gonna divide it. So for, like I said, 4-inch spacing, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So you can fit 3 plants across and 3 plants down. Now, if they need 1 foot spacing, that means you're gonna be planting right in the center of that square. Like my tomato over here, they should have a little bit more spacing, but I'm gonna stake these. And so I kind of cram in my tomatoes a little bit too much. So I give them about 1.5 foot spacing, mostly because I just wanna chuck it full of plants. Now, if you have something that has weird spacing, like say 7 inches, then do your best to kind of squiff your square around a little bit to fit it to the most. And why do you want to fit it to the maximum space for their growing size? Because once they grow to their maximum size, That means they're going to be blocking out weeds. So there's a lot less work for you in weeding. And also too, when you water, you'll have more leaf area covering it. So you're not going to lose that water in your soil. So it has a lot of different benefits. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video, and happy gardening.